Well, what's going on, everybody? Taylor Plott here with your latest forecast going into Wednesday, October 14th. Looking at a fantastic forecast for the next several days, fall-like weather in full swing. And yes, that does mean our chance at a first frost for tonight into tomorrow morning, but I think the better chance will be on Thursday. Let's take a look at your forecast, starting off with the temperatures tomorrow morning. Anywhere across northern Alabama could see lows in the mid and upper 30s. I think the better chance of seeing some of those isolated pockets of frost will be in the rural areas of northern Alabama, mainly north of the Tennessee River, where some temperatures could drop down to around 35 or 36 degrees. But I think most places will stay in the upper 30s. It's going to be a little bit windy tonight, not extremely windy, but it will be windy enough that it will keep the temperatures from dropping too far, along with that cloud cover we have going on this evening. That will keep temperatures a little bit on the warmer side than what they could be. Now, tomorrow afternoon, it's not much of a change. It's definitely going to be chilly out there pretty much all day across northern Alabama. Places like Huntsville, Decatur, Scottsboro might not get out of the 50s. It will be upper 50s, but it's still 50s out there. It's going to be on the little bit of the cool side. Now, places in northeast Alabama, places in the higher terrain, could be closer to the lower 50s all day tomorrow after, or going into tomorrow afternoon. So definitely a chilly one for the northern part of the state. As we go into the central and southern part of the state, a little bit warmer temperatures will be in the lower to mid 60s for tomorrow. Now, winds tomorrow, this is again what I talked about. This is going to help prevent a wider spread frost tonight, as the winds will still be a little bit too high for some frost formation. And then once we get into the day tomorrow, they will start to go a little bit higher. You could see some gusts around 20 to 25 miles per hour. These are the sustained winds. Could see some sustained winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour during the day. Now, Thursday morning, those winds drop. Our skies start to get clear, and that will allow more radiational cooling, and that will keep our temperatures from staying warmer. It actually will drop them further down towards the low and mid 30s for some places across northern Alabama. The outskirts of the city, so mainly the rural parts of the counties, will probably get close to freezing in some places. So there's a chance that there could be a light freeze in store for some outlying areas in the counties, but as you get closer to the cities like Huntsville, Decatur, Florence, Scottsboro, Coleman, your temperatures are going to generally be in the mid-30s, but there will likely be more of a wider spread frost on Thursday morning, so I wouldn't be surprised if the National Weather Service in Huntsville and Birmingham issue a frost advisory going into Thursday morning. They don't have anything for tonight into tomorrow morning, but Thursday morning could have some frost potential with it. Now, Thursday afternoon, we warm up very nicely. Temperatures getting back up into the middle and upper 60s for some places. A little bit of the typical cooler spots will see more of the lower 60s on your Thursday afternoon. Take a look at your temperature trend over the next several days. We will start to get back into the 70s once we get into the weekend, looking fantastic weather-wise, and then we'll get a little bit warmer than that, topping off into the lower and mid-80s once we get into the middle of next week. So a little bit above average once we get into next week once again. For the Birmingham area, same thing. Temperatures in the 60s over the next couple of days, then getting back into the 70s and then 80s once we get into next week. And Tuscaloosa, same thing. Temperatures getting back into the 70s and 80s next week. Overnight lows down in the central and southern part of the state will generally remain in the 40s and 50s to around 60 over the next several days. Rainfall, yeah, it's going to be hard to come by, and you can even extend this out. This is the WPC outlook for the next 7 days. No rainfall across the state of Alabama. You could extend that out probably for 2 weeks. There's a chance that we might not see rainfall until we get to the end of the month. Taking a look at some of the model guidance, it shows a system possibly coming in around Halloween. That's way far out there, but that would be probably our next chance for beneficial rainfall across the south. Will be closer to the end of the month. Now, tropics, it could be getting active once again. There's two areas we're watching, one with a low chance, one with a medium chance. The National Hurricane Center actually bumped down to a 50% chance for the area out into the Atlantic. They did bump it up to a 60% chance yesterday and earlier today, but that has gone down just a little bit. And we'll keep an eye on that. I'll get to that here in just a second. We are watching an area in the western or southwestern Caribbean that has a low chance of development over the next 7 days. But if that even does develop, it would be moving into parts of Central America, just continue to track to the west. So this is Invest 94L, and this is what's going on in the middle of the Atlantic, and you see a lot more shower and storm activity. You've been paying attention to this. It's been struggling to see to develop showers and storms with the dry air mass, but it's starting to develop a little more shower and storm activity, so it could start to get more organized once we get later on into the week. And some of the models are hinting that this could develop into a tropical depression later on this week, and it will continue to move to the west as it gets into the Windward Islands, a part of the Lesser Antilles, and possibly into the Eastern Caribbean by the time we get into the weekend. But beyond that, I don't think it tracks further to the west. I think it just kind of sits there in the Caribbean, or it gets kicked off to the northeast thanks to the pattern in place. A lot of high pressure and troughing action here in the eastern U.S. will keep this from impacting the United States. I don't expect this to be an issue for us. Taking a look at the intensity guidance, it's been kind of going a little bit back and forth. It's been showing less of a bullish look. There were a lot more models earlier in the week that were showing this getting into a Category 2 hurricane. Now this is kind of just showing the general consensus is if it does develop, it would become a tropical storm, maybe a very minimal hurricane at best. Again, that's something that will likely not impact the United States, but we'll keep an eye on it and just make sure our forecast continues to trend in that direction, that it doesn't impact anywhere in the United States. That's what I got for you guys this evening. Have a great evening out there. Stay safe and have a fantastic Wednesday.